Welcome to part 2 of the Minoan Marketplace tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, last time we had just finished a phase where we were putting on a part of the roof and the floors for the next level, so let's continue there. I think on this one we had just finished the decorative parapet and a bit of the roof tile, and now we're putting on more roof tile over here with half slabs and then full blocks here for 7. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that's going to be 7 by 7. Full blocks of deep slate, and then we're doing the half slabs around that. Let's continue going in the same patterning though. We can see we've got half slabs here ringing out around the red part here, the red terracotta with the half slabs. And then here we've got one of these little side porches I put up here. It's connected to one of these towers. So we have more column bases here, 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 and here. And of course all the columns in the building, I have a 3-block intercolumnation distance. Without exception, I believe. So here's the next part of the walls. And by the way, for those asking, the basalt here, this is the basalt texture, but I'm using texture pack in 1.12. We don't actually have basalt, but we do have what is it? But we do have light gray wool, which is what I've been using to approximate basalt, but it doesn't function the same way with the double texture basalt does. So for this, if you want to make like a block substitution to something else, if you don't think it looks very good using the normal basalt, you could perhaps use tough again, but use tough bricks. I think have been recently released. Or you can just use the basalt as it is normally and just place it either vertically or place it on its side. It doesn't matter much. It just needs to be another gray block that you think will look decent enough in with the rest of the texturing. So anyway, here we are. Let's take a look at the block sections. Actually, what I was taking a look at that from the inside, wasn't I? Right here. And there, we got a bit of black stone around the doors. Right here. And there. So here, for roof tiling, to approximate just a little bit of texturing without overdoing it, we have just some half slabs of deep slate tile here, and then we have back here, we have more column bases. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Like so. And these are going to sit basically on top. Well, not quite on top, but they're going to mirror the spacing we did down here. You see these 6 columns down here? We're going to be doing that again up here. And in between them, we have this little walkway that you've already placed down, so you can use that as a guide. You know, and back here we have spacing 1 there, and then 3 between the columns themselves. Right there. And then every other block here, you can see you're just placing a half slab down with 1 block spacing. All right, that gets us back to the tower here. Let's take a look here, though, first. We've got 4 sections of half slabs, 4 sections of 4 half slabs. And here we have another little side porch. We've got 3 column bases. And in between those, we have the deep slate tile half slabs. Right there. All right, moving into the tower, let's start with the ladder. And then go clockwise. All right. We have, looks like we have a double 3 over here. A 3 and then another 3. Yeah. Didn't catch that. Well, it's all right. As long as we don't end up putting the same block on top of the of a similar block, that's all we really care about. So here we have now another walkway with column bases for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of those. Let me back off a little bit. So you can see we've got 7 column bases and 3 blocks apart. You want to put half slabs in between those, and you want to do that on both sides of this little walkway we have going down here. And while we're here, let's take a quick look at the seated Minotaur statue. We have the eyes now, just done with buttons. And let's move inside the tower. Let's start with facing the ladder. And doing our brickwork pattern. All right, here for the roof of the little side porch, we've got another 4 section of the four half slabs of deep slate tile on top of that. And another one right over here. You can see they're just right behind the red terracotta blocks. All right, some detailing over here. We've got a little side porch for 3 column bases. Deep slate tile half slabs in between those. And then we want to do deep slate tile half slabs over here as well. Just right around there. All right, I believe that will be it for that phase. Let's move on now to the next one. So here we have the beginnings of the base of the standing Minotaur statue that we saw from the tour. So on top of the deep slate tile half slabs, what you want to do is lay down a 7x7 red terracotta thing, and then you will want to just fill it in with calcite. And I think our Minotaur is going to be standing on that. So that's pretty easy. And then we're done with all of this here, so we now want to move directly over to this point here, where, you know, on top of the column bases, what are we putting down? That's right, the columns. Putting down 4 of those with the red terracotta. If you want to, as we go, every time you place down 1 block of these, you can actually go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 blocks of that to get the full height of the column plus the capital for that. So if you want to save a little time, do that for all of those right here. Let's take a look inside the little tower, starting with the ladder and turning clockwise. All right, so place down your columns along there. Let's now go to the middle of the large tower, starting with the ladder and turning clockwise. All right. This section here is finished, but we have this little balcony here, so go ahead and place your column bases there. And the column bases in the breezeway along the pathway here. In between the towers. All right, so here, starting with the medium side, the medium height tower facing the ladder, turning clockwise. All right, and then 3 more columns out here, and that's all there is to that one. All right, moving on to the next phase, we've got the feet of our little Minotaur statue here, made out of a couple of blocks of obsidian. The center point right there, and a couple of stairs. And then around it, you just want to ring it with deep slate tile half slabs. All right, moving on. I've already talked about these, so I'm just going to let you get on with placing those columns. You've probably already done them. So we are going to take a look just at the towers, pretty much, and the statue. Oh, wait, the statue. I forgot to take a look at this part, didn't I? Almost forgot. All right, so here, let's take a quick look here at the Minotaur statue. There. And now we can actually go on to the next phase. Sorry about that. Here, the ladder, taking a look at the ladder moving clockwise. Or the small tower. All right, moving to the large tower, starting with the ladder. All right, let's take a look here at the Minotaur statue. Actually, I think we might just be finished with him. Take a peek over there. Yeah, I think we are. So the last blocks for the Minotaur statue, a couple of cobblestone walls to finish off the Minotaur horns, one last block of calcite, and that's it. And fun fact, this chair here I'm having him sit in is actually it's actually directly modeled off of the throne chair, or rather a chair that they found in Knossos. Well, you know, Minecraft. It's more blocky, less curvy than the original, but yeah, I did my best. All right, medium tower, starting with the ladder. All right, and that's all there is to that one. Let's move on to the next phase. A couple of blocks here for the Minotaur, the standing Minotaur. All right, moving on to the tower, we've got a floor slash ceiling area, ceiling area, starting with our ladder here. And let's turn and face. And of course, the oak logs are just full logs on their sides, and the oak planks here are all half slabs. All right, moving on to the large tower. All right, and moving down to the medium height tower. All right, and that's all there is to that phase. Let's move on to the next one, next section of blocks for the standing Minotaur. Next block sections for the small tower. And of course, over the doorways, we want to place the same motif that we did down below. The upside down quartz stairs right there, and they're going to have the same tops on them as well. If you want to go ahead and build that, you can. Now let's move here to the large tower. We've got three exterior, the quartz here, the 3 blocks is the upside down stairs. Let's starting facing the ladder right here. And in between here, I don't think we need to take a look at that. You know how that works. That tree trunks on the sides and oak half slabs in between there. And another one of those for this tower. So let's start with facing the ladder. And don't forget the archways over these 2 doorways. And that's all there is to that one. Let's move on to the next phase. Some cut copper there, waxed cut copper. You can let it oxidize if you want. Go ahead and finish off the doorways, the tops of those, with the same 2 blocks of deep slate tile and a block of red terracotta. Let's move into the inside, starting with the ladder and going, clockwise. I think I made a mistake right there. That should be, that should probably be basalt right there. You might want to go ahead and replace that with basalt. Or whatever you substituted the basalt with, if you did make a substitution on that. Perhaps the tough bricks or something like that. Something that's not too gray, but something that's on the darker end of the spectrum. right, moving down to the large tower, starting with the ladder. There. Sometimes it's hard when you like to work in odd dimensions, but your brickwork pattern is made entirely of multiples of 2, which means it's always going to be a little bit messy. You know, it's always going to be a little bit messy in some spots. But that's okay. We don't. It doesn't need to be a perfect 2x2 pattern all the time. It just needs to be, you know, it just needs to be a little bit messy. It gives us that gritty texture without having to apply a gradient to the building, which I think is actually a happy compromise, because gradients tend to be building specific, whereas this brickwork pattern, you can really recycle this for just any building. It doesn't have to be a Minoan building. It can really just be any building. Well, you know, any building that's stone, that is. So here, starting with the ladder. And that's all there's to that one. Let's go on to the next phase, portions of the Minotaur here. Let me go ahead and mark out the air gaps right there so you can see that a little bit better. Obviously, don't place down the wool. This is just to help you place the floating blocks. All right, moving on to the next phase. So, Minoan capitals, you know what to do. You've already built a ton of these, and you got to build one, just, you know, that amount more, pretty much. So, you know what that means. Upside down, deep slate tile, half slabs all around, except for where the pilasters contact the building, where you only build 5. All right, so go ahead and do that all the way around if you want to. And let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the tower for the next section of brickwork. You may notice, by the way, the brickwork pattern, after you've built a couple of sections of it, it's actually a repeating pattern because it will just repeat. It's not unique every time for every layer. It's unique for a couple of layers, and then it repeats on itself. In fact, we probably built enough of that where you should be able to see that. Maybe not on the small tower. But if you start looking for it, the patterning is definitely there. Now, I actually think the patterning, where is it? I think we've just built enough of it on this phase. You can see these blocks down here. Can't place one there. These blocks there are going to be equivalent to those blocks right there. You see? Once we get above this point here, the pattern repeats itself. And see, we have cobbled, deep slate, tough, and andesite. And back down here, what do we have? Deep slate, basalt, and andesite. And for these towers, it also repeats going this way as well for a section. I think, yes, like these 2 blocks and those 2 blocks are the same as well. So you can kind of get an idea of how big the pattern is. And if you want to, you can make any size tower. All you have to do is wrap the pattern around the square. That's really all I did for it. But anyway, inside here, details for the ladder. Sorry, details for the brickwork, starting with the ladder, and then going clockwise. All right, moving down to the medium-sized tower, starting with the ladder, and going clockwise. All right, next phase, next bit of the Minotaur. Now, again, both of these Minotaurs have their own little tutorial videos if you want to see them in more depth than I'm presenting here. All right, and you know what comes next? That's right, after we finish the columns, we have to put on the entablature. Minoan entablature design, very simple. You've already done it once. Back down here, we're going to be doing it again. Up here, so there it is. It's just right on top of the walls. Connect all the columns together, just like so, and extend it, leaving the cutouts in between. Right there, and the whole thing just interfaces and overwrites, for the most part, the brickwork patterning. Right here, I left a little bit of brickwork patterning in here. That's if you want to, just to make it look more consistent, you can extend it with more calcite if you want to. But I didn't do that. It's just a minor detail, and nobody will probably notice. You can see I did that back here in the medium height tower. And a little bit of calcite here to connect all of those together. All right, next phase, detailing for the Minotaur statue. All right, and now you know what to do next, right? That's right, the Minoan Entablature design. That's the red terracotta alternating blocks with the deep slate tiles and buttons. Every place that you can place them. Obviously, we can't place them here. But every place that you can place a button on this, you want to do that. So let's just take a look at it. It's nothing you haven't done before, a repeating pattern now. And remember to leave out the holes in the middle. And then just have it wrap around the towers. And the little side porches here. And wrapping around the medium height tower. It's pretty simple, just a repeating pattern. It's going to be pretty hard to mess up. So I don't think you're going to have any trouble with it, that's what I'm saying. All right, and this brings us back around to where we started there. So that's all there is to that phase. Let's move on to the next one. We're detailing here for the Minotaur, holding his upraised labrys. Some people speculate that the word labrys is the origin for one of the side origin connected words to labyrinth, but it's not clear if that actually is a root for that or not. There's a lot of disagreement about that. So it's hard to say. I mean, it could be. They certainly have maze-like designs and Minotaur-like creatures, and their very key symbolic cultural object of the double-bladed labrys axe is certainly highly suggestive. But it's people they're really not sure. I could go either way on it. All right, next phase, a lot of cobblestone filler, a couple of floors, and the rest of the Minoan Entablature design, which is very easy. It's upside down deep slate tile stairs, just wrapping all the way on top of the entablature. So what you want to do is you can place either cobblestone or more deep slate on top of all of this. And then around it, you just want to wrap the upside down stairs. Now, let me give you a look on top of it. So you know how to build this. Right here, build another floor right there. And then fill all this in with cobble and a central block. And cobble and the central block. Of course, these central blocks here are filling in underneath right there. So it's pretty easy. Cobblestone and fill it all in with deep slate tiles and upside down stairs. Add another floor here. Fill it all in with cobble and individual blocks of deep slate tile. And edge the whole thing around with the upside down stairs. It's pretty easy. One last floor here for the medium height tower. And cobblestone filler here for this side porch. All right, let's go on to the next phase. Here we have our double-bladed Labrys. Our Minotaur is holding up. So it's possible that, you know, the legends of the Minotaur and the maze are, of course, you know, a bit overblown. But that, you know, what we have dug up about the Minoans is very suggestive about that. I think if we ever found, you know, like an intact Minoan library or something, there would be a lot more to go on. But what we mostly know about them is actually what the Greeks wrote about them, and the Greeks tend to embellish things, here and there, when it suits them, and the Minoans seem to have suffered a bit from that. But it's still, even if whether it's true or not, it's still a good story, a good campfire story. All right, so on top of the upside down blocks, we're placing now the parapet. Design like so, and you know what that means, full blocks of terracotta and quartz slabs, because we don't have calcite slabs. All right, so I will let you get on with placing the parapet design. We've already done that once. You know how to do it. Take a look here. So we've got now the top of this tower here, which is going to be the floor of the little open air pavilion at the top. And behind that, the rest of it's filled in with solid deep slate full blocks of the tiles. Right there. And over here as well, on top of that, on top of this long breezeway section here. And here we've got, we're back to more brickwork for this tower. So let's take a look at that, starting with the ladder and turning clockwise. All right, and over here we have the beginning. So we have a large open air top on this one, and here is the floor design for that. Just nested inset squares. Pretty easy. And the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. A lot of deep slate tiles right behind all of the parapets. Design, so let's move on. Next phase. A bit of copper there for the Labrys. Well, you know, Minecraft. This is as double-bladed as I can possibly get. All right, let's move on down here. So we've got some half slabs right on top, and we've got 4 column bases right here, arranged around the 5x5, and then ring it around with deep slate tile half slabs, as shown. And then right here, we've got a ridge line on the roof, and then deep slate tile half slabs, 2x2, every other block on either side. All right, down here, we've got the next section of the large tower. Take a look from the inside for the brickwork. Couple of half slabs here to finish off the roof on this little side porch. Here we've got another ridge line going right down the middle, connecting tower to tower. And in between those, 2x2 every other block, half slabs, deep slate tile. All right, and then it awkwardly stops, whereupon we've got a ring of deep slate tile half slabs, and behind that we have 8 column bases right here. all spaced 3 apart, just like so. And then back over here to finish this roof off, we have for this little side porch, some deep slate tiles right there. All right, next phase, a little bit more of the standing Minotaur. Is he missing? Hold that thought. How did that happen? He's missing the buttons. Oh, well, oh bother. So he needs yeah. He needs some buttons right there for the eyes. I'm not sure how that happened. But it apparently did. And anyway, you can fix it. It's pretty easy. It's not going to break the bank to get a couple of redstone stone buttons. All right there. You already finished his Labrys, so you're just building his head. Let's go on over here. So on top of all the column bases that you placed down on the last phase for these towers here and over there, you know what to do. That's right. You want to place another section of column. So on top of all of those, go ahead and place down some more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks tall with their capitals. And do that for the 4 here. And for the 8 back over here. And the other thing to take a look at now is the tall tower. So starting with the ladder and taking a look clockwise. All right, I'll let you get on with placing these columns to their full height, both there and over there. For this next phase. And I think we're almost finished with the Minotaur statue right here. Of course, the head is just copied and pasted between the two. It should look pretty much the same as the seated Minotaur down there. All right, next section, let's go over here to the large tower and take a look here at the ladder for our brickwork patterning. But like I said, it's a repeating pattern, and I've showed you how and where it repeats. So you may be ahead of me on this. But if not, I want to, take a look at it all in sequence anyway. Again, with the columns, I'll let you get on placing with those. On the next phase, we want to finish off the Minotaur here with 2 cobblestone walls, and now both of your Minotaur statues should be complete. So over here with the large tower is pretty much what we've got to take a look at for a while. So let's take a look at the brickwork patterning. And you can see behind that what you want to do is place down a floor. The exact same as all the other floors, because I copied and pasted them. All right, next phase. Here immediately to the large tower with the brickwork. Remember, use the ladder to orientate yourself. All right, next phase. Large tower. More brickwork. All right, that's all there is to that one. Let's go on to the next phase. Go ahead and put on all of your column capitals over here and over there. All of those, and real easy. This phase here, a square of calcite and 1 ladder. Next phase, really easy. Another square of calcite. Here, 5 by 5, and then over here another square of calcite too. That's, what's that going to be, 9 by 9 on top of this, right there, and on top of the calcite back here, you know what to do. The next section of the alternating red terracotta and deep slate tiles, placing buttons on the exterior, all around that tower. And, oh, I should probably remark, I think we achieved a milestone, actually. We've done the last of the brickwork. I know. You're really happy that we're finally done with the brickwork. Let's see. Next phase, we're in the home stretch now, really. So you want to put the alternating pattern here with the buttons, you know, entablature design for the Minoans. Leave 1 block space in the middle for that one, and do the same over here, except leave bigger blocks of space. That's what, 5 by 5 of spacing? Like so. Back over here, you want to put in a floor and deep slate tile. These blocks back here, they could be, well, I mean, they could be cobble if you wanted to, but they can be deep slate tile. It doesn't particularly matter. And then do the upside down stairs wrapped around in a square around this tower. And then immediately after that, you want to put in cobblestone filler, a central block, and then upside down deep slate tile stairs for the small tower. And you want to do the same for the medium tower here. And then 2 blocks of cobble, and then a 5 by 5 ring of the red terracotta in here. And then back over here, we want to put the parapet on top of the entablature. And then behind that, there's a ladder over there to orientate yourself. You want to put a ring of deep slate tile inset with alternating layers of red terracotta and calcite. Make yourself a little target. So next phase, parapet design on top of the small tower, and solid deep slate tile 5 by 5 behind that. For the medium tower, you want to do the same deal, just with a larger square of deep slate tile behind that. For the large tower, you want to put down a ring of deep slate tile half slabs around the perimeter. And then behind that, you want to put down 8 column bases right here for that. And you know what to do with the column base. And that's right, you put the rest of the column on top of it. So I'll let you go ahead and do that. Next phase for the small tower, a couple of half slabs and then 3 blocks right there. For our decorative minotaur horn top to it. Over here we have similar detailing, but not quite. You want to just extend up the, what's it going to be, 7 by 7 deep slate tile square, and then a couple of blocks right here on the edges you want to extend up. We're going to be making like 4 horns around the top of the tower here. All right, so go ahead and build these. I'll let you do that. We'll take a look at the small tower on the next phase right here. 2 blocks right there. And then here on top of the medium tower, you want to build, reduce this to 5 by 5 and place these 2 blocks right here in the corners. Right here. Each corner is the same, by the way. Once you do one of these, the others are exactly the same. All right, next phase, 2 more blocks right there on top of that. And over here, you want to do 1 more block on top of all 4 corners, just like so. And then you want to do 5 by 5 deep slate tile half slab, and then these 3 blocks here. All right, to finish off the small tower, we want to put 2 blocks right there to kind of give the suggestion that we have out-curving red minotaur horns on top of our small tower here. Because if there's anybody that can get away with putting minotaur horns on top of their building, it's the Minoans. All right, continue building those columns. Over here, you finished all that already, so we're just placing 2 more blocks. Actually, this section here, this right here, is directly equivalent to this back over here. So if you want to, you can go ahead and finish building that. Just put another one over here. So like I said, we're done with the small tower. It's finally finished. Been building that one for a while. Over here with the medium height tower, as I said, this design, it's got the same thing. So just go ahead and do that. You're still building those columns. Right here on that phase, let's go on to the next phase. So right here, columns and capitals, you know how to build those, 8 of those. And then here, we're finishing off the medium height tower with 2 more blocks right there for the Minotaur horns. So the medium tower is now finished. We're only focusing now on the large tower. And I have some, well, it could be good news. It's good news for me anyway. So from here, you recognize we've got a 9x9. I think it's you don't miscount. Yeah, okay. It's a 9x9 square of calcite. And we've had one of those before. That's right, we had another one of them back down here. So we're going to be doing the same patterning, just basically another one of these on top of that. So on the next phase, you know what that means. That's right, the Minotaur Entablature design with an inset red terracotta square in the middle. Buttons on the exterior. All right, next phase, cobblestone filler and a smaller 5x5 square. And upside down deep slate tile stairs for the cornice of the entablature. All right, next phase after that, you know the deal with this, the decorative Minoan parapet design, and do the solid blocks behind that in a big square. All right, next phase after that, extend up the square and do, everything I talked about over there for that. You just want to be doing for this. So I think you can see that. So let's fly on to the next one. All right, next phase, same sort of deal. Once you do one corner, the others are the same. 7x7 square there. All right, next phase, cap off all the ends of those with individual blocks. And then half slabs. And then you know what this is. That's right. This is a Minoan horn design on top of the large tower. I'll just kind of fly on by that. Next phase here, same deal. Next phase after that, same deal again. And next phase after that, here you are. Place your last 2 blocks, and there you have it. So once you have done all of that and placed entirely too much red terracotta, possibly more red terracotta than you have ever used in your Minecraft life, your Minoan marketplace will be complete.